Hello. In this session, we are going to learn the foundations of Python, and all the people who have joined us previously, welcome back again. People who are joining us for the first time, I request you to use the chat to interact with us, and also let us know which city and what is your name, which city you are from and what is your name. And proceed forward, this would be a 6-day program where every day we'll join for 20 to 30 minutes and learn a little bit of Python, right? So join masterclass, and I'll be sharing a form where you fill in your details, and you'll be given the link to a masterclass where you'll know more details, right? So the intent of all of these 6-day program, all of these sessions in these 6 days is to make it clear that Python is something that is easy to learn and something that everyone can wrap their hands around, right? So thank you so much everyone for joining in, and people who are joining us on our social channels like YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I request you to go ahead and click on the link to the Zoom session in the chat. From there, you can directly join us on Zoom happening live right now. And from there, you will be able to interact with us face to face, right? So to all the people who are watching us on social channels, you can put your questions, queries, and inputs on the chat. And people who are joining us on Zoom, you can directly interact with us. Great. Thank you so much, everyone. So we would be today covering the foundations of Python. Thank you so much, everyone. People who are joining us on YouTube and Zoom together, I request you to mute your YouTube so that we can proceed forward. Great. I'm going to share my screen. And before that, let me share the link to today's practice exercise, right? So the link to the practice exercise here is in the chat. So to all the people joining us on our social channels, it is shared on the chat. People who are joining us on Zoom, you can even find that on the Zoom chat itself, right? Okay, so I've pinned that particular message on YouTube also. So you can go ahead and click on that particular session. So people who are joining us from our WhatsApp groups, you are already getting all of the details. People who are joining us for the first time, you can see in the description there is a link WhatsApp group where we keep sharing our updates. I request you to go ahead and even join there. From there, you'll also get all details first time on WhatsApp. Great. Thanks, everyone. Let's be screen. Your name. If you're from non-coding background, type N in the chat box, right, along with your name and city. Thanks, Subhash. Thanks, Rahul. Thanks, Lakshman. Thanks, Rachna. So people who are joining us on our social channels, I request you to use the chat option to interact with us. Great. So we see that more people are joining in. So yes, so we'll be covering the foundations, Sushilama. So we'll be covering the foundations in today's session. Great. Okay, so let me send in a reminder. Yeah, the link to our Zoom session is directly there on the chat. Amazing. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Shivali ma'am. And we have a recorded session, Shivali ma'am. So Shivali ma'am, you can see that the YouTube link will act as the recorded session. You can always come back to the same link and watch. So it should not be a problem, right? So 101 Logic X from non-coding background. Thanks so much for uh, sharing with us, right? So if you can open the link that I have shared in the chat, right? Are you able to open the link that I've shared in the chat, the day one link? If you're able to open it, type O in the chat box. If you're able to open the link, let me share my screen. So this will be a little hands-on session. People, you will be able to even use the link that I've shared on chat, on mobile also, right? So, but I request, if at all you have a desktop device, I request you to go ahead and join from a desktop device. Great. So this will be the link once you open it. Now you can see that in this link, there is a little exercise below, right? So you can see that there is some exercise, and here in the top, there is an interpreter where we will be adding our code and getting the result, right? So I'd request everyone to follow the instructions carefully. So if at all you are from joining from a mobile device, the interface would look different. You can see that the interface will look like this. What you have to do is, if at all you are trying to use this particular line, you have to copy and paste it in the script.py. Like, let's just say here I'm doing print, say hello. So when you run it, you'll be seeing this. There's a button called run. When you run it, it will open in your shell here, right? So that you'll give your input, here you'll get your output, right? But if you're joining from desktop, it will look something like this, or you can see the both boxes side by side, right? Okay, great. So how many of you are able to open this parallel while you are accessing the session? If you're able to access it while you are watching the session, right? If you're able to open the link, type O in the chat box. Yeah, so it is essential for us to be able to properly work because the link, working on the link is very important. So the link has been shared on chat. Thank you so much, Varun sir. Okay, great. So let's proceed. Now, if you can see this particular screen that I'm sharing here. Yeah, so if you're able to see my screen, you can see that here there's the first exercise which says print hello world. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy it, paste it here, right? So we are going to learn by exercise. That is going to learn by exercise, and that is going to be the mode of learning. And first exercise that we are doing here is printing a statement called hello world, right? So this is the most simple statement and most useful statement also. So while we are, here, you can see that you can go ahead and run it, right? So when you run it, whatever you have within these quote and unquote, whatever is there, that gets printed, right? So whatever we write is going to be printed. So you can write anything, you can write numbers, right? Let's just say 5. I'm going to run it. Now you can see that got printed. Okay, so this is an instruction that we are telling the interpreter or Python to go ahead and print it on the screen, right? So there's a lot of things that we can do. So right now, whatever is there within these double quotes is called as a string, right? Whatever is within the double quotes is known as a string, right? So because we have a lot of people who are from non-coding backgrounds, we are going to cover from the basics. People who are already a little ahead, who understand a little bit of programming, please do not worry. We are going to catch up in our upcoming sessions, right? So whatever here we have in our double quotes is called a string, right? So now print statement can do a lot of things also apart from this. So if at all you're going to give a number, like let's just say I'm going to give 1 into 24 into 3 into 880 plus 1. If I'm going to do that, it's going to run and it's going to give me a result, right? So if I want to verify if that is the right result, you can see that the result is correct, right? So basically what print can also do is, if you give in any arithmetic, it's going to go ahead and run. So you can do any different kind of arithmetic also, plus into division and all those things. It can even give you reminders and all those things as well, right? So if you note here, for numbers we do not have the quote and unquote. We do not have the double quotes. Why? If you give anything between quotes, it becomes characters. It is no longer a number, right? So in Excel, you can see that sometimes numbers get stored as text, right? So this number has become text now, right? So it is no longer actionable number. If you put double quotes and if you run it, it is going to be printed as a string or text, right? So if at all you have numbers, you need not have double quotes, right? So if you have understood strings and numbers within print statement, type U in the chat box. If you have understood strings and numbers within print statement, you can type U in the chat box. Yes, so SAR 18 on chat says, "Sir, how can I practice Python in VS Code?" Right. So basically, we are also going to move on to a better version of Python compiler. Right now, I would request you to focus on the learning the concepts, Sir, because what happens is, you can first go ahead and learn the basics in a foundational interpreter, then we'll go advanced, because that is in current today's scope. We're not covering how to use a compiler, but if at all you have to check, you can go ahead and check Colab, right? Google Colab, you can run it there, right? So yeah, so Araf Abbas, you say the video is not clear. If you are watching on a mobile device, you can see that there is a settings icon. In that settings icon, there is something called quality. In that quality, click on advanced and put 720p, right? So Abbas, if you are able to go to settings, and because based upon your internet bandwidth, the quality of the video can go lower. You can go into the settings and increase your resolution to 720p. Yeah, if that is clear, type C in the chat box. Thank you so much, Satish, for letting me know that the concept is clear. Thank you, Varun sir. So let us go ahead and proceed with our learnings, right? Great. Now we have understood print can do print strings, print can print arithmetic, right? What all else print can do? Now we'll understand a little bit of variables, right? So now instead of typing 1 into 24 and everything here in the print statements, I'm going to create something called a variable. Okay, we can name our own variables. So basically, right, so what happens is, now variable is like an envelope or a box. You can have change the letter in the envelope or contents in the box, right? So if you put biscuits, it's a biscuit box. If you put chocolates, it becomes chocolate box, right? So basically the box contents are different. So like, for example, you can name your box or variable anything. The variable is like a container. It's going to contain different various values, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to define a variable. Variable is nothing it's going to be a word where it will hold some value, right? So here I'm going to name my variable, which is just say variable box. Okay, so I'm just giving a random name. You can give anything, and I'm giving it the values 1 into 24 into 3 into 18, whatever we had in print state. So instead of printing this, I'm going to copy whatever variable box I have written the name here. You can type in here, and I'm going to run it. Right, so you can see that 5761 still got printed, because what happened in this first statement is this is called a variable. Now variable, what happened, it first went on to the right hand side, calculated everything and saved it into the variable box, the variable that we have created, right? So now variable box is like a big word. We can make it smaller. We can just make it box, right? And in the box we have, box is the name of the variable, right? And in that we have this numbers, and if I'm going to still print, let's, for a variation, I'm just going to say +1. I'm going to add one more number more here, because variable can vary, it can keep changing, right? So I've added one more. Now I'm going to run it once again and print box, right? So whatever you have here, variable name, you have to write it same in the print box, then only it will print that, right? If I'm going to run, you can see that 5762 got printed, right? So you can name your variables anything. I can say number, and I can print number, whatever is there. Let's say I'm going to add +1 more here, and I'm going to run it. See that the number got printed, right? So now we understood that print statement can print strings, which is nothing but in double quotes. Print statement can print arithmetic directly within it, or print statement can print variables where arithmetic or any other value can be stored, right? So if you understood all this, type U in the chat box. People on the social channels can type in the comment section. Yes, I think Abbas, I feel that you are able to resolve it. Okay, thank you so much. Right, if you are able to understand that you can, using print strings, variables, and arithmetic, right? If you understood this, type U in the chat box. Great, thank you, Prashant. We have a lot of people who are joining us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, YouTube. So I thank you so much, everyone, for understanding all of this. If at all you are joining us for the first time, you can see that there is a link in the WhatsApp, in the description, in the WhatsApp groups link in the YouTube description. You can click there and join our WhatsApp group, where you can learn more about our details, because we'll be keep sharing all of our details as well, right? On the group. Great. Thank you so much, everyone. Now let us back. Thank you so much, Abbas. Now let's resume. Okay, so before we proceed, I'd request anybody who can unmute and let us know which city they are from. Varun sir, is it possible for you to let us know which city you are from? Kerala. Would it be possible to unmute Varun sir? Okay, it's a network problem. No worries. Thanks. Thank you so much. So we have Varun sir from Kerala. In who all we have. I request people who can join us on Zoom. The link to the Zoom session is there on the chat. I have pinned the Zoom session in the top. You can click there and join us live and directly within our Zoom session. Great. Yes, I request people who can join us on Zoom can join us as well. Great. Now, as we proceed forward, now we have understood print statements, strings and variables. And like how we have understood strings, now strings also, what we can do here is, in strings, instead of the number, whatever you had number, let's say we call it ABC. The name of the variable is ABC. Okay. So if you run it, it will still print whatever is there within that variable. Now in this, instead of, now if I have double quotes, what will happen is this number got converted into text and that got saved in ABC. And now when you run it, it will print that particular text or string, right? Now what we are going to do, if because we are able to print text, I can print anything, right? So I can say welcome to Pixeltests, right? So if I run it, you can see that that text is able to the interpreter is able to print it on the shell, right? So what we need to understand here is this particular variable can hold numbers, it can hold numbers, text, float, and a lot of other things, right? So we'll try to understand more about these things, right? So what all a variable can hold, right? So a variable can hold string, a variable can hold, I'm first going to print this, okay, print ABC in every step, right? A variable can hold string, a variable can hold number. Let's say the number is 21, and I'm going to print ABC. So it will be second one, right? Now a variable can have within itself a point number, also a decimal number, like say 21.05, right? So this is called a float data type, right? A variable can even have something even complex, something called like a list, right? So we'll cover lists as we go forward, but it can, if I put it in square brackets and I say, I can have multiple variables set in one particular list itself, right? So there's a lot of things that we can do. I put a square bracket, and in square brackets I'm saying, okay, apple, comma, ball, and I'm going to put each of these into double quotes, right? Now this is called the list, right? So I'm going to say this is a list. This is a decimal or a float number. This is an integer. And this is a string, right? So now you can see a print statement can have print variable value, string value, and different arithmetic, but each a variable can hold multiple types of data, right? So this is a different type of data, right? So now when you are sending some message on WhatsApp, text is something, number is something, email is something, right? And you can put emoji, right? Everything is a different type, right? Similarly, a variable can hold a different type of data. It can hold string, integer, float. So this decimal is also known as float. So we can have float, and it can have something called list. List is nothing but a collection of different values, right? So I'm going to run all of this. So it is going to print all of these first we'll print this, then this, then this, then this. Okay, so let's go ahead and run. Now you can see that first it printed the string, then it printed the integer, then it printed the float, then it printed the list, right? So we'll understand about what is list and all those things as we proceed forward, but you can understand that a variable can hold various different data types. So that is why it is a variable, right? It can vary what it can hold, right? You put chocolates, you can put biscuits, you can put liquid, soup, anything, right? So if you are clear with the concept that a variable can hold different types of data, right? Type If you're clear, type C in the chat box. Great. Thanks, Sushant. Thanks, Lakshman. Thanks, Sujata. Thanks, Roshni. Yes, thanks, Abbas. Thanks, Ashutosh sir. Great. So now that we are clear that print statement can do a lot of things, we understood strings, we understood variables, we understood different types of data types. There is even a way to know the type of various other variables also. If at all you want to know by your own self, you can even go ahead and do that. So let us try to do that. Now, if what we are trying to do here is first go ahead and say type of ABC, right? So first I'm going to say, after it is a string, I'm going to say type of ABC. What is the type of ABC? After it is a number, I'm going to say what is the type of ABC? And then I'm going to say what is the type of ABC. So we are trying to get the type of ABC everywhere, right? So as I've told you that a variable can hold different data types, I'm going to see what types it can hold, right? So I'm going to run it. So now we'll try to see, okay, so now what we need to do here is we need to write a print statement and say print type of ABC. Let me, right? So we'll try to run this every place. I'm going to print what is the type of ABC. If I run it, now you can see that first what happened is it printed this particular string, and it said it is a string. Then it said 21 is an integer, 21.05 is a float, and this is a list, right? So whatever I've told, even you can check it by yourself by printing type of ABC, right? So how many of you are clear on how you can know the type of any variable? You can know the type of any variable by saying print, and in that print statement we say type of the name of the variable, right? So if you are clear with how to know the type of variable, type C in the chat box. Great. Amazing. Thank you so much, Sushant. So let me tell you the format of the program. So people who have joined us late, and this brings us to the conclusion of today's session. But we'll be meeting every day for 20 to 25 minutes to learn a little bit more Python, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to join on our 7th day the masterclass, where more of the details will be shared. So I'm going to share this particular form link, which is a masterclass invitation form. What happens is you go ahead and fill it, so that based upon this, we are going to share with you the invitation to the masterclass, right? So this will happen on Saturday, the upcoming Saturday. And in that, more details about Python, how it can be used for AI. It will not be hands-on technical. These 6 days, you will have a little technical understanding of what is Python. But as we go on the towards the 7th day, yes, Varun sir, the masterclass, the whole of the 6-day, 7-day program is free, right? So we're not going to charge anything here. But there is an opportunity that will be shared within the program in the masterclass, where you will be able to take a decision to either seriously proceed into the career of AI or data science, right? So all the information we'll also be sharing on each of the day for the next 6 days, and on Saturday you will have a very clear understanding of what to do with the newly learned Python skills, right? So here we'll be covering the foundations of Python, but if at all you are from non-coding background, it will be your first barrier that you'll be crushing, which which is the thought that coding is tough, right? So if you're able to run smaller statements like this, you'll be able to run the bigger statements. It would just require time. You have to give it time, right? So how many of you agree? If you give it time, the results will show up, right? So if you agree, type A in the chat box. Thank you, Varun sir. Thank you, Prashant. Right. So thank you, Abba sir. So now what I'm going to do is I'm to get the invite to the masterclass that will happen on Saturday, 7 p.m. I'm going to share this particular form. You can go ahead, fill this form. The link to the form is there on the chat. It's a simple Google form, right? Thank you, Ashutosh sir. So masterclass invite form. Yes, I've shared it on. Yes, Varun sir, I'm sharing the chat on Zoom as well. Masterclass invite. Yes, I've shared the form. Please go ahead and share in your details so that you'll receive the updates, right? This will express your interest, so which from there you get the updates on the Saturday session for Saturday. Great. So thank you so much for joining, and I hope the session was valuable, insightful for you. Just a sneak peek of what you can do within Python. So Abbas sir, which city you are from?
Sir, from Tirupur, sir.
From
Tirupur, sir.
Tirupur. Okay. So I'm in Tirupatur. Right now I'm in Tirupatur near Sivangai. So actually we are based out of Hyderabad, but here, currently here. Right. So nice to know, Basar. So is it first time you doing Python, or you had some previous experience?
No, sir. I already know some of the tips that you gave in Python, sir.
That's really nice to know. Okay. So what is your current background, sir? What do you do currently?
Sir, I am studying CSE in PSG College of Technology, sir.
Wow,
First year, sir.
That's really nice. You are in a good shape. We have in our community many people who are experienced, who are shifting careers, who are planning for their second innings. People who are students. So we have a very varied community as well. We have roughly about 1,050 plus community members on Pixeltest who are learning and pushing each other forward. Right. So thank you so much, Abbas. I hope you join the masterclass and know more details. Thank you so much for being interactive.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you so much. Great. So I hope many of you have taken value from this session. We'll go forward and continue joining every day for these 20 to 25 minute sessions. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. See you tomorrow then. If you are joining from our social channels, you can go ahead and click on the WhatsApp group link in the description so that you can join from the WhatsApp. All the details will be shared on WhatsApp, even for upcoming 6 days and also the 7th day also, you will get more details on the WhatsApp group. So Melody Stereo on YouTube, how can I understand the Python language? Do not worry. We have we are going to cover all of that in the next 6 to 7 day session. Focus step by step. Don't try to think it is something complex. Take it step by step. If you have joined just now, go rewind back, watch it from the beginning and do the practice. The link to the practice notes is there in the chat, also on the description, right? So take it step by step and you'll be able to get through the language. I hope that answers the question. So thanks everyone. See you all tomorrow.